May I come in, sir?
Please come. Durga Prasad.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Durga. Please sit down. So, Durga Prasad, tell us briefly about yourself, your academic qualifications, graduation and above, and your any work experience, if any, and your main hobbies.
Namaskar, sir. I am Durga Prasad Adhikari. I belong to Odisha. I have done my BTech in mechanical engineering from CET Bhubaneswar. After that, I joined Bosch India Limited as a design engineer. Later, I worked with Maruti Suzuki India Limited as a R&D assistant manager in R&D division for CNG systems. And after that, I have a short experience of 3 months in Vedantu Innovations Limited, where I worked as class teacher.
So, Durga Prasad, I can see from your DAF that you are extremely committed about getting into civil services. Is my assumption right?
Yes, sir.
So, what is so impressive about civil services that you are, trying so hard?
For me, civil services means service to the society. Being a prestigious service and with a security, it is also the only service that provides a diverse range of opportunities to work in various fields like sanitation, rural development, all other things, even the foreign services or the police services. And also it is aligned with the goal of my life, that is the Seva Paramo Dharma, or like the Paropakara Punyayam Papaya Parapidanam, which is something I have learnt throughout the journey of my life.
So, is there any, talking about tourism in Odisha, is there any golden triangle there also?
Yes, sir. There is a golden triangle there also. It is the road, the system that is linking the Konark, Puri, and the Lingaraj temple, the Bhubaneswar. The three cities are connected with the golden triangle.
So, there is another golden triangle in the northern region where a lot of foreign tourists come. Are you aware of that?
No, sir, I am not aware of it.
So, in the golden triangle of Odisha, is it basically religious tourism which is there, or even the foreign tourists come?
The foreign tourists also come in that, because the Puri, besides being a religious point, it has also a very beautiful coast. So many foreign tourists also come, and we have the architectural marvel, that is the Konark temple, which is also a host to the lot of foreign tourists also. And in Bhubaneswar, it is a very beautiful planned city. So it also has.
Suppose, Durga Prasad, you are the DM of a coastal district in Odisha, and there is a cyclone, from the Bay of Bengal side, like it usually happens also. Now, you have come to know 48 hours before that after 48 hours there will be landfall. Now, what steps would you take? You can't prevent, obviously, but what steps you will take to minimize the loss of property and loss of lives? And during the landfall and during the cyclone and the post cyclone in terms of rescue operations, very briefly.
Yes, sir. Being the DM of the district, I will mobilize all the resources that I have in my hand, including I will start with the awareness. In the awareness, I will use the radios and also in fact, the social media handles are also nowadays very quite common in the administration to inform the people in the local areas. Thereafter, I will try to inform the state government and try to mobilize the SDRF and NDRF forces if needed to help in the evacuation of the people and the rehabilitations in the cyclone shelter systems. Thereafter, I will ensure that the dry rations and all the things needed for like the sanitizers and all those things are placed at proper places so that they can be used effectively. And during the rainfall, it would be my responsibility that I should ensure that no people should venture out into the sea or the places which have hazard. And post landfall, I will also try to give them psychological counseling, because there might be some destruction of the houses of them or something. And I will also ensure that they get proper food and shelter in the rehabilitation center, and we will see how we can ensure that their houses that have been destroyed and can be resurrected.
Good. Thank you. I pass on to my esteemed member.
Thank you, sir. I have seen that your enthusiasm is very commendable, but during the course of the pandemic, I have seen indiscriminate application of the provisions of the Disaster Management Act which you be using very, very judiciously. And also the indiscriminate use of the provision of section 144 and large scale prosecutions under 188 of the IPC. The case of migrant labor that moved from Anand Vihar bus station toward UP, they were prosecuted, arrested, sprayed with pesticides. Legally speaking, correct. Morally speaking, incorrect. Your take on that?
I feel the human beings, the dignity of human beings is at the center of all administration and governance. It is our moral responsibility that the due respect and the due dignity that they deserve as being a human must be ensured, which includes that we must take all the steps necessary to contain the pandemic, because a person being infected not only affects his own life but also spreads the pandemic throughout the area, which may have the aged persons, may have a very diseased person. I feel that the administration, by invoking all the section 144 and all, tried to do the good thing. However, we see that there are sporadic incidences where the dignity of human beings were compromised with. I think that can be prevented, so that at the end it is all about the trust on the public administration that we need to reinforce. And this.
Right, Mr. Durga. We come to your earlier assignment in the Maruti Industries in Gurugram. There were widespread labor unrest leading to unfortunate incidents in the plant in Gurugram itself. And it is alleged that the urban Naxalites were behind these ugly incidents. Have you heard of the term urban Naxalites?
Yes, sir, I have heard of the term urban
What is
Naxalite.
the meaning of urban Naxalites?
Urban Naxalites are the people who are the intellectual beings who provide all the ideological support, many times the financial support, and also the shelters to the Naxals in the urban areas, so that they can perpetrate their actions with a greater ease at all the places. And regarding the incident at Maruti, the urban Naxalite, what I have come to know after being an employee there, I don't feel that there were urban Naxalite involvement, because it was a spontaneous event as far as I could know, and the later the steps have taken to mitigate, and such things are not being repeated after then.
Spontaneous incident leading to the assault, murderous assault on Japanese experts and senior officers. A spontaneous incident will have the ramifications of a local impact. But to have a deliberate assault on the top Japanese level management officials is debatable whether it was on the spot and unpredictable, or it was by design. You still feel that it wasn't by design?
If I'm not wrong, I'm not aware of the assault on Japanese high level officials. What I was aware that the assault happened on a higher level management, or the manager who was there working, the Indian only. But if it is also on the Japanese level, high level official, it is condemnable, and even if it is on the Indian person or the manager also, it is always condemnable, because the corporate culture and they are the growth engines of India. Such attempts will derail our economy and our progress. And
you're so right. In fact, the Japanese embassy lodged a very strong protest. There was also a thought of shifting the Gurugram establishment to South India in Pune or Ahmedabad. Also, there were further ramifications, but of course, things were brought under control. Now, my last question to you. You are interested in philosophy. I am giving you two quotes from Sanskrit. Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvam Asi Shvet Ketu. Do you find a similarity between the two sentiments? Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi Shvet Ketu.
Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi are the two of the four Mahavakyas in the Vedanta, and they mean the same. That is, I am that Brahman, that is the super being, that is the Satchit Anand, that is the eternal effulgent source of energy and all. Yes, they are the same thing, because Tattvamasi is a part of the Samaveda and Aham Brahmasmi is the part of Yajurveda. They both mean the same.
Good. Do you find the echo of this sentiment in the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible?
Yes, sir, I feel the same is echoed, because in Quran later the Sufism who developed the term of Inal Haq.
You would not know the exact quote of the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible.
Holy Bible, I feel it is the I am the Alpha and I am the Omega part of the Quran.
That's a misquote.
That is the
I
Bible.
and my Father are one. That is the original. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lot of discussions on which is everything. And I notice in your CV about your interest in Jagannath cult. So, can you tell us very, very briefly what is this Jagannath cult you are interested in?
Basically, in Odisha, everything is centered around Jagannath. The cuisines, the dance forms, even the Odissi dance, the songs, and everything, even the economy and the culture also is surrounded around the Jagannath cult. So basically, Jagannath cult is the whole movement or the gamut of spiritual, religious, and even the state building activity that happened around the idol of Lord Jagannath. In fact, it has a very beautiful cultural syncretism that tries to converge all religions into it. It has we can see the reflections of Islam, of Christianity, of Jainism, of Buddhism in that Jagannath cult. So basically, it is something that is an option to the maybe the religious acrimonies that we are facing now.
Okay. Now you have named many religions here. I'm not sure. But I'm told that if you want to visit Jagannath temple in Puri, then the Pandas, they are the one who rule the roost. And it is up to their discretion. This I have heard. I can't say it with authenticity. That only those who are following that particular religion are allowed. So how do you justify that with your statement? What is the reality?
Basically, in the earlier times, there were attempts.
Earlier when? How long? How old?
Even during the time.
In very recent times also I've heard that they were preventing people from other faiths to come and pay their obeisance. Is it correct?
Yes, sir, it is correct because it has roots in the past. Because in the previous times, during the reign of Aurangzeb, it was alleged that the idol of the temple was taken and placed in front of a area where other people walked upon it. So the Odiyas, as I said, they feel Jagannath as their family, so they didn't allow initially. However, in the current context, I feel that the constitutional rights, like the Article 25 to 29, what we have regarding the religious rights, they must be employed, and the Supreme Court can also take judgments whether to allow the people into it or not. And they must be open for the people of all, because at the end he is Jagannath, not Hindunath.
You feel that they should be allowed. That is your personal view.
Yes, I feel so.
Good. Now can I ask you some questions on international affairs?
Sure, sir.
How much do you know about CPEC, CPEC? Have you heard of CPEC? What is it? It's
Yeah.
a very, Aram se. It is a very thing which has been in the news for the last, say, 3, 4, 5 years, very much in the news now, every now and then. What is CPEC? All capital, CPEC.
It is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is being built a logistical support, the road and railway networks that are being built throughout the China and Pakistan, so that the movement of goods and the services thereon can be improved, which will give a boost to the economy of Pakistan and will also serve the purpose of China for perpetuating its economic presence throughout the world.
So, does it anyway threaten Indian security interests or any Pakistani states or provinces' security interests? Does it hinder?
Yes, there have been.
Yeah. Tell us.
Yes, there have been there have been reports, and also there have been opinions from the experts that it is passing through in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which India claims as its integral part. So that too without the permission of India. Therefore, there is a chance that it might be misused, giving a leeway to all the perpetrators of crime and violence to perpetuate in India, and it might also have a very disastrous impact on the stability of Kashmir region also.
You feel so?
Yes.
Good. Now, what do you think, as I find that you are interested in geopolitical things and all, after the Chinese aggression in June 2020, do you think it can again resort to some aggression and hostility in eastern Ladakh or from Arunachal? Do you think so? What is your study or what is your assessment? China. The talks are going on one side, the statement that foreign minister was in India. What do you think? It might attack India again?
Yes, sir. There are possibilities being raised by various experts that it might attack again, because as far as I know, they attack in the month of summer once the snow have been thawed and there are passageways. And of course, there have been expert opinions that wherever there are issues regarding regarding any negative impressions about the Chinese leadership in India, in China, they resort to such ways to divert the national opinion, national attention to all such things.
Okay. Last question, because I forgot to ask then, because you were talking about the cultural things and all about Odissi. Has it become more popular than before among the various forms of dance in India, Odissi?
Yes, sir. I feel it has become more popular because we have.
Who is the most prominent exponent of Odissi dance now?
Now it is Sanjukta Mahapatra, the daughter-in-law of Padma Vibhushan Kellucharan Mahapatra, who is no more, but Dr. Padma Vibhushan Kellucharan Mahapatra was the highest proponent of Odissi dance, was there. And also we have the Dona Ganguly also being practicing Odissi dance. We have.
But is she of national level?
Huh?
Is she of national level, Dona Ganguly?
Yes, sir, she performs on national level also, and she has been under the tutelage of Padma Vibhushan Kellucharan Mahapatra.
Thank you. General Sir.
What do you know about transcendental meditation?
Transcendental meditation, the word transcendent means which is beyond this world. So the meditation which takes one person to that other realm, that is beyond this world of ephemeral world, that is subject to birth and death, that is transcendental meditation. When one can feel the essence of the word, that is Tattvamasi and Aham Brahmasmi, that I am not different from the Supreme Being who pervades all the universe. That is transcendental meditation.
What do you understand by Hindu rate of growth?
Hindu rate of growth is the term that is used to denote a very slow growth. Because if I am not wrong, it was during the early half of the 1900 that the Hindu rate of growth was very low. So nowadays it is being used to refer to things which are very slow growth.
What are family courts meant for?
Family courts are meant to resolve the disputes in the family, which may be the divorce or with respect to other maybe the various disputes that happen within the family, within the brothers, within other family members. So it is an institution to maintain the sanctity and also the authority of the family in the society, in the Indian society.
So if there is a problem between two brothers relating to succession and ownership of a property, would it go to family court?
I am not aware of the technicalities.
Have you heard about Me Too movement?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Me Too movement was a global movement which tried to focus on the women who have been harassed in the past and the women who had not been able to, who were displaced from their rightful positions, like they expressed their displeasure of being exploited in the past, maybe that is the sexual exploitations, and it rose into a movement that I too was harassed. So gradually it gained steam and the women from all over the world joined it.
So was this open to a woman who had suffered at the hands of her mother-in-law?
I feel, sir, yes, it was also open to them because it didn't had any such rigidity.
Okay. You have been taking part in the National Service Scheme. What are the areas for improvement there?
I feel more funds can be attributed to them, and further I feel that there were some places of lack of coordination and delay in the passing on of the decisions. So as we were in the college, like we did all the awareness things like the blood donation drive, the plantations and all. However, I felt that there were some delays in the decision making which can be improved, and I feel it is being improved nowadays. It was way back 6 years back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Durga, I was very intently looking at your CV, and it offers a very strange trajectory. Like you have worked with Bosch, then research and development wing of Maruti, and then you go to become a class teacher at Vedantu, despite taking a salary hit. I saw that in your CV. So tell me, because you chose philosophy as the subject for your civil services, that's why this gravitation towards philosophy, or very genuinely you are feeling pulled into the domain of philosophy?
Regarding the first part, there has been a transition in my working profile. In Bosch too, I was in the design field itself. They had the designation of associate software engineer, but I worked in design. Later, when I thought that I will jump into the civil services while I was in Maruti Suzuki, I had to take the leave of resign the company as such, because the working hours did not permit me to do my full preparation to that stage. However, the COVID had hit back then, so I had to make a stopgap arrangement with the Vedantu as a part-time.
Okay,
teacher.
so it becomes incidental to your career choice. All right, now you have written about Upanishads and Advaita philosophy as some kind of a area that you are interested in. Now, if you look at Indian history, or religion and religiosity, or say worshipping modes of Indians in past, how does emergence of Upanishads or coming of Upanishads bring about change in the religion and religiosity of the Vedic practitioners?
Yeah, the Upanishads had back then also tried to denounce the ritualisms prevalent then, and now I feel too that they can also be a potent tool to denounce the ritualisms. Even if I can quote the Taittiriya Upanishad, which says Acharya Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Matru Devo Bhava. The religion is not only the communion of the person with the God, but also with the immediate family members. Even God, even the father and mother are also God. So I feel Upanishads can take one to that supreme level, and also ground one to the society, wherein he can work for the society, and that is the true essence of the religion, because the root word of religion is religare, that means to bind people, to serve all.
No, but you have to situate this emergence of Upanishadic practices in the backdrop of what was happening during the Vedic period. So there is accentuation of asceticism alongside Upanishad. That was absent in the Vedic period. That is what I'm asking you. This is about testing your historical perspective.
Yeah. The asceticism also grew with the growing of Upanishads. But however, as far as I have studied Upanishads, they don't as such propagate asceticism, because we have all the gurus who have said Upanishads.
Do you think that Upanishads in general were, or the content of Upanishad was in sync with what was happening even outside the Vedic domain? Say there were religions or movements coming up even in opposition to Vedic practices. Do you think that Upanishads carry the flavor of the time that it belonged to?
Yes, sir, I do feel they carried the flavor of the time it belonged to, and they also denounced some of the Vedic practices which had gone too far or too superstitious, and which were against the then Vedic practices prevalent, like the butchering, the sacrifices, and all those things. The Upanishads tried to make the communion of the man direct with the God without the rituals.
Okay, and you also alluded to state building as one of the concomitant developments alongside emergence of Jagannath cult. Can you elaborate?
Yes, because the temple, the king, the Gajapati rulers have said that we are only the servants of the God, and the Jagannath is the real ruler of Odisha. They have said, if I can say in Odia, it is Utkale Netanka nahi prayojana, Utkalar Neta Swayam Jagannath, they say. So, in fact, the whole of the state building, including the lineage, who will be the next king and all, was around the Jagannath, and it was King Kapilendra Deva who made Jagannath as the center of the state, and it was Jagannath who also was part of the various matrimonial alliances.
So, do you agree that it is with the emergence of Jagannath as a cultic figure that Orissa embellishes its presence as a regional kingdom in history?
I feel the role of Jagannath is very high in the embellishing Odisha as a regional thing. However, it is not solely Jagannath cult, because Odisha has also its rich tribal legacy also, which is prevalent still now. And Jagannath cult maybe arrived after 14th, 15th century. However, beyond that, we also had a very rich cultural legacy. And Jagannath cult only strengthened it, only reformed it, only refined it.
Okay.
So, Durga, last question we would like to ask from a topic which you would choose. So, tell me any topic and I'll ask you a question from there.
I feel as such all things have been touched, but if the board may feel to
The
ask,
board is, if you wish to ask us, if you wish that we should ask another one from your only uncovered topic or choice of topic, it's your wish.
maybe we can delve into the topic of meditation. That is also one of my hobby mentioned in the dark.
So, meditation, how you see meditation as a tool to keep your mind, peaceful enough and agile and active enough to discharge your duties as a civil servant?
Yeah, meditation is the meditation that is the dhyan we say, that calms our mind. We have lot of distractions in the world, and the social media and all have made it even more distractful. Meditation settles down all the thoughts that linger in our mind and makes our decision making things very slow. So that's why it is said yogascha chitta vritti nirodha in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That is, even the meditation also serves the same. It calms down the distracting mind and brings one man to the level where the emotional intelligence is high. So that's why we see that the persons who are doing constant meditation have high emotional intelligence, and they are able to serve the society in innumerable ways.
So, thank you, Durga.